no.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Blue Couch with Storm. And today is February the 7th, and I'd like to welcome my spiritual elders. I'm honored to have them in the house today. Is Mama and Baba.
Greetings. Greetings, Divine Tribe. We're honored to be here.
So today, I just wanted to what brought me to this point today was, of course, I'm so grateful to both of you all. Met you all like 3 years ago, and I was at a point where my spirit was calling me to be this person who I am today, and I just had no idea who this person was. And so Mama was doing a session on Thursday nights at Inner Peace and Wellness Center over on off the Beltline here in Atlanta. And so I went into one of her Reiki sessions, and I've never been the same.
Right? We've never separated since.
Never. And then how I met Baba was Baba would come in and hold space for us, and it was a beautiful thing having him there. And that's how I met Baba. And I've had wonderful spiritual breakthroughs with both of them, and I'm just so honored tonight. I wanted to share them with you because I really believe that, this industry is a $3 trillion industry, and it's amazing how you have so many beautiful spiritual people that the world doesn't know about. And so I wanted people to know about my Mama and my Baba. I wanted people to know, especially the people who my heart is moved for, because Mama and Baba went through so much with me.
And likewise. We're all here in this together.
I mean, I'm just grateful that we talked about it some on one of the other shows, and I'm just grateful that they stuck in there with me. And I'm just gonna open this space however long this video goes. I want it to go as long as it goes, because I really think that there are people out there who are in the place where I was at. You're looking for something, you don't know what you're looking for, you're in pain, you don't know what that pain is, you're scratching and hitting and knocking everyone around you and making a mess. And what it really is that you're in labor. It's time for you to deliver yourself to yourself. And so in that moment where they helped me, and then just the things that you go through, because I feel like people think it's just such an easy thing to do, that you just wake up, kundalini, whatever, and you're done. Yeah. It's it, and whatever, and you're it, and you're evolved, and just like that, instead of that it's a journey, that it's a birth, that it's a whole lot of things going on. So I just hope today that whatever moves you in Baba's spirit, I yield to you all. And if you will first, just have one request first. Just let people know how they can get in touch with you and what services you provide, because sometimes people aren't going to have time to listen to the whole video right away, and I want to get that part out.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll start. Divine Tribe, if anyone is out there to hear my sweet, loving voice, please know you can always find me on Instagram with mindfulness_with_Maryland. And that's Mama Bear. So we offer many services. If you want to sit with just me and Baba, you're more than welcome to come have tea and just get to know us and let us, get to fill you out. That's always an option. But I also do, and Baba also offers private sessions. So we do massage, we do Reiki, we do soul journeying, we do a lot of forms of meditation. But most of all, it's just remembering who we are, in whatever way that is, that we can help and assist somebody to open their eyes and look back into their own heart and lighten that heart and open that heart so that we can create and share community through that space. That's what our services wrap into. So some of them don't have titles, some of it is just come be with us. Some of it is show up, we're gonna sit outside and beat a drum for an hour. It's really specific and unique to each soul's experience and where they are. So yeah, that's who and where we are. So find us on Instagram. Yeah. Mindfulness_with_Marilyn. And you will find Mama Bear and Baba both through this link.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. And so basically, Mama and Baba, they opened up their services, and I've gone all the way from Reiki level 1, 2, and 3.
Yes. Holy fire.
And Baba is responsible for me going to Reiki Master because at his birthday last year, he gave like a prophecy to each one of us little chickies around, and he's like, "You are Reiki Master." I'm like, and I wasn't even like thinking about it. I was scared to be Reiki 1 and 2.
Right? I had to push her into those.
So much stuff was happening, and that's what I love about Mama and Baba, because they're like a tag team. Because she's like, "Okay, fine, so whatever," and then Baba gets the boop, and it's like, they just work together in sync with each other. Mama's like holding me, trembling, like, "I don't know," and she's like, "You have it, you're okay," and then Baba's like speaks, and he's like, "It's fine." And so I'm a Reiki master, and under their direction, I just love how they work in sync with each other. I love how they tag off with each other. I love their relationship and everything like that. It's just so beautiful to me to see that. And with that said, let's get into the mess, child.
Bring it on.
So I'll just start off with some of my crazy stories, and then you can bounce off of that where it goes into the community and how you see different people coming in. Because when I came in there, my energy and stuff like that, it was so many layers and different things that you all had to get me through. And I was, so confused and scared and didn't know what was happening. And so what happens when a person like me comes and you don't know what you want, you don't know how to get it? It's like, how do you even get the person on the mat? Like, how do they get born?
First of all, divine timing occurs. And with that divine timing, you find your way to Mama's heart. And Mama meets you. And when Mama meets you, it's okay, wherever you are. And that's the first step, to accept wherever you are. Because I do. I accept it, I love it, I hold it, and then I push you, and I keep pushing, and I push and I push and I push, because I push everything closer and closer to the source. And the source is you. The source is divine. It runs through you. It is who you are. So I just want you to remember that, and I want to remind myself that in every moment, in every thought, in every feeling, and in every action. I want to remind myself that we are who creates. We are who loves. So, yeah, that's what I first do, is just find somebody where they are and accept that. And I say prayers that they can accept that too. And once we accept where we are, we can always change it, right?
And so when you're, because I've been in you all spaces, like I've been to your home, I've been to the healing center, and it's like, how do you get a bubble? Because it's like when we step inside that space, it's just like you're shut up somewhere. It's like you don't even realize, like we were mentioning earlier, it's like 1 minute a pass and it's been 10 hours or something. How do you set the tone and atmosphere?
Together, we all create a container, and in that container is a safe space. And I won't say safe, but it's a space that's divine, and it's a high frequency, and time and space don't even really exist in it. And we do that together, but Baba and I, intentionally create that holder so that we can create the container. And the holder is to create a space and keep it in a high vibration. And that's with intention, with lots of tools, but mainly with intention. So yeah, with great knowledge and wisdom that has been shared and passed to us, and we pass it along, and we've learned to create sacred space, and that's what it is. It's sacred, and once the space is sacred, we can all create together, you know, vulnerability, and that's what we feel when we come together, so that we can get to the wounds that really matter.
Before we go into you seeing everyone else's wounds and stuff, what if you can give me, I know I'm not trying to take everybody deep into you all's business or anything like that, but like what brought you, I know there's many paths that led you to this one place, but if you can give one of your stories of the journeys or whatever you feel like that you can share, because what my heart is really moving on is for the people who are waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they're troubled, and then they're troubled during the day, and then they feel like they're misplaced and they don't fit anywhere, and they're really hard on themselves and they're doubting themselves, and some are even wondering, have they lost their minds, or they're listening to other people and stuff like that.
Am I worth anything?
They're scared of the dreams that they're having. Some of them are so arrived that they're seeing spirits and different things like that, and they're wondering, are they going crazy? They're wondering, and they go try to talk to people. And I remember on one of the life videos that I watched, I can't remember if it's Louise L. Hayes or something like that. I think it was her. And one of the people she interviewed, and she was saying, don't go buy milk at the hardware store. So it's just like these people are going around and trying to talk to people about what's going on with their spirit and what's happening. And people, even with good intentions, can set you off down a wrong path, or no path is wrong, but a hurtful path, because you just doubt and you're in so and so like, how do they, so in those kind of stories, just share your story. Like it wasn't like you just woke up and it was written on a piece of paper, you are a Reiki master.
No, I've known Reiki since I think I was in my mother's womb and before, but it's something that evolves constantly through lifetimes. So I had to go through great darkness to know light. You have to know the opposites. And I've had to know great pain to know my pleasure. So to say, for the ones that are just awakening and you're going through huge transitions, we continue to go through them. So don't think you're alone. Even though I'm Mama Bear and I'm Reiki Master, I still transition. I'm still leveling up at all times. And some of them are bigger than others. And so maybe you're going through a big one. But no, we're never alone, because that is something the mind likes to do. It likes to tell the heart, oh no, nobody's ever been through this. No one's ever done this, when we have. We're doing it together. When one levels up, we all are leveling up. So know when you're going through a transition, whether somebody else wants to express it or not, they are too. In their own ways. So no, we're doing this all together. So do not hesitate to take hands when they're offered. Whatever level you're at in your spiritual awakening, it doesn't matter. Whether you're Baba or Mama or chickadees that just woke up, it's fine. Take hands when they're offered, because that's what makes people offer hands more. And that's what we need more, is to help each other, by assisting, by holding sacred space, by allowing people to have experiences in wherever they are without judgment, with compassion. That's how we're going to heal. Not saying that you don't have your unique wounds. We all do. And we're all going to keep transitioning. So if you're even going through your first one and it seems like the biggest thing in the world, it may be. It may be at that time. I promise you, it felt that way for me. So and it can be, and it can always be those moments. But when you do have those moments, remember, take the hands, because they are being offered, whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
And it's really important. I know for me, one of the other sisters who was doing an event at Inner Peace and Wellness Center. I call her California Maryland. And
the two mamas.
Yeah, she. If you go on Instagram, it's the Reiki coach. Her name is Marilyn Latham, and the Reiki coach. So she offers services too. So my whole thing is like we all offer different services and stuff like that. Yes. I believe we're drawn to certain people at different times. You know, we may pass around between or whatever. However, the most important thing for me is like get to the person that you know you need to be with, so that when you're ready to give birth, it's just like your labor pains and the water has already. Your water's already broken. Now now
another person needs to step in and pull the baby out.
So it may be like that kind of situation, and that's what I like about our community, that it's enough to go around, that each person helps. I like at different times we do these Reiki shares where, like Mama was saying, sometimes we're out there on the porch and just sitting on the steps, and we're out there for hours. Sometimes we're in the house. People rotate from inside the parking lot on the stairs back inside the house, in the kitchen or whatever. Some people go lay on the bed, you know, some people lay on the Reiki table. So it's like getting all of what you need. And it's like when I came to Maryland, California Maryland's event, and Mama Maryland was having her event on Thursday, so that was like a Sunday or Monday, and then her event was on a Thursday. And it's like coming in there for her Reiki, and it's like you lay down on a yoga mat and you're laying down there, and she has her crystals and her little thing, the singing bowl and all these different things and stuff like that.
Forget the drum.
And then she leads you on a guided meditation, and it was really weird. And because it's like on those guided meditations, it's like I was seeing so many things, and I felt like I was going different places. I later learned that was astral travel and just all kind of things. And then, you know, and it was just, I was just scared of the whole process, and I didn't know what was happening to me. I had my bachelor's in psychology, like I've told you all before, and I worked as a counselor for a minute, and I was just like, woo, I'm just going to check myself in, because I know.
I am an RN as well. We all have medical background, but it doesn't really count.
I was like, let me just go check myself in.
Some things have to be experienced.
Yes. And I was like, I know I could go there for 3 days and 72-hour hold and get some medicine, just be set back right, you know. And Spirit was always, no, just go home and lay down. So it's not like I understood everything that was happening to me. It's like my spirit knew I needed to be with you all. And it's like my physical went on autopilot so that my spirit can take over and get me to the different levels of healing that I needed. And then at different times, you know, it's just like when you're under anesthesia or whatever, and sometimes you come out of it, you're like, you got to get another dose. And so when my physical self came out from that trance, it was like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? I started going like that, you know, and then it's like everything's okay. And so it had to get to a place where my spirit was okay to calm my physical self and say, you don't need to go to the hospital, you don't need to do this, you don't need to feel like you're falling apart and having a nervous breakdown. You are having a breakdown, stuff is happening, however you're being born. It's just like if you would think of what happens, you know, we're not able to talk to babies as they come through the womb. But if you think what's happening, I mean, they're safe and sound in their mother's womb, and next thing you know, these contractions start. People are pushing on them to get them out. The muscles are pushing on them. You know, their fluid and their warm home is taken away. And it's like, if you think of that, everything that goes through when a child is being born, that's the same thing I felt happening to me when I was being born into myself. You know, you got that song, Bring Me to Myself. Yeah, so it's just like that experience, like when you try to explain it to someone who's not in it or who's not ready to be born themselves, then you do sound crazy. Yeah. So at some point you just have to accept that you're gonna sound crazy
or not speak.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
sometimes you do need to not to.
Really, a lot of times, Baba and I's presence is plenty. We don't even, do we need to even say anything to certain people? Just sometimes just sitting there with people is enough.
Yeah.
Especially people that, you know, are extremely analytical or want to
those reporters
logically.
that came to
Yeah. Like she had a panic attack in the middle of it because she was trying to logically, understand astral traveling, and she wanted to put it into medical terms when she just needed to experience it. And so the fight, the battle between the mind and the heart creates a lot of emotion. So you're gonna have to feel it. And so a lot of people that aren't like that, like you didn't see me sit there and fight with her about trying to let her explain, no, hey, it's cool. Whatever you need from this experience, allow it to be. And did the two people sitting next to you get what they needed? And that's enough for me. And you got yours too. You just can't see it. And I can. So when you have those moments, you just don't take things personal, and you just let people have their experience. And know that it usually is because it's being analyzed too hard instead of just experienced. It's that battle of self.
And it's just like, it's nothing that you can even explain, to yourself. I know a lot of times I felt like, because this has been a 3-year journey for me. I think this year starts year number 4, but this has been a 3-year journey for me. And I know a lot of times, I was physically ill. From everything, feeling like I had the flu. Sometimes I had to miss work. Sometimes I had to push through work. I would just be like in a state of befuddlement and confusion, because the spirit, after the Reiki session on Thursday, the spirit's still working on me until the next Thursday. And so, it's working, getting all that stuff out and causing me to really feel. And that was the biggest thing for me, is like, I could not feel. And it's like, that's where the handoff between Mama and Baba comes in, because
see, I get you real ripe, and then I throw you to Baba.
And you know what? And that's not even fair.
That's exactly what I do. So just beware.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna ripen you up real nice, and then I'm gonna hand you over kindly to this beautiful soul right here.
I just got
who will go directly to the source of the issue and let you
know. That was like that's perfect, because it's like everything I had in me and everything and stuff that needed to come out and be processed out in the right way. And that's another thing about having good people that you trust around you, that they'll bring you through your spiritual transition with your whole self. Other people can bring you through, and you're left with pieces here and there, and they care enough to bring you through in a way that it's enough of you left to create yourself, and not just leaving parts so you'll be dependent on them. It's like, that's the most beautiful thing about them, is like, I'm able to stand in my strength of who I am, because the way that they helped me be born to myself, let the strength come through. And the amazing thing is, I hate to be touched or anything or whatever. I was just in such bad shape, and so it's just so funny with Mama just tenderizing me. And then Baba got a hold of me, and I did a massage session with him, and man, I was just crying and crying. I think I was crying before he even touched me, but he worked me out on that massage table and everything. And then when I got ready to leave, I'm like, it's some kind of spirit like right there by the door. And he's like, oh, well, I guess whatever, And I was like, are you sure?
We got that, don't worry.
And so, and then the next time I saw Baba, he hugged me, and because we all hug, and I don't like to be touched, but we all hug. He hugged me, and I was just like, I started crying. And I'm just like, that hug is something, that hug. And then he asked me one question: did I ever let anyone hug me? And I just had a total breakdown, crying. I'm like, no. And you would have thought that I would have known what was going on, but I didn't. I had never allowed anyone to touch me. And that moment that I acknowledged that that's how I was living my life, it broke a solid wall off of me. and it opened me up so I could be this woman who I am today. And so I had like several experiences happening, but that one, those words, it was just a few words, a hug and a few words, and just because I was so, that's the thing, and that's why I guess my heart is so for people that are up and hurting, and why this whole thing is coming together, why Spirit told me to just put it out, is people ready to be born, just put it out. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't have this done perfect and this done perfect and this done perfect. It's, no, these people are hurting and they need it now. It's like, remember how you were hurting? Remember how Mama and Baba were there for you? Remember, no one was telling you to wait. No one was telling you, well, wait, what time or this or that or whatever.
I did it like a gypsy. There's been times where I didn't know where I was going to, go and move and do, and hey, I know I had my bag of stones and my bowl and my drum, and I didn't have a car, but I'd walk my feet to death. And hey, whatever it took, it took. And I've always had what I needed. I've never been in a place where I didn't have somebody show up. I've never been in a place like that, because Reiki works that way. It works on cellular level. Like, when someone felt my vibration a certain way, they showed up every time. And that's how I got my Baba. I had to get to that level to get to my Baba.
Oh yeah, and
so no worries. I wouldn't take it back for a second. Yeah. So it doesn't have to look perfect. Yeah. You just have to show up. You have to show up.
And even when you don't know how to show up, it's just like
just being willing.
Just being willing. Yeah. just being willing. And then at different points, when I would hit the heart parts, and that's where I love my sister, because she's my mother, she's my sister, she's my auntie, she's my grandmother.
Which
she's
one do
always
you want?
she played all
Which
those.
Which one do you need?
She played all those roles, in my life, and I think the most courageous one was when she allowed me to not like her, when she allowed me to take my own anger and everything out against her, misplaced. She held space for me, and she loved me, and she would not turn away, because she knew that that's the place that needed to be healed. And it's just like I never had someone do that for me, and it was just a beautiful thing, because the things that are coming out of me is the pain and stuff and different things like that. And so that's where my heart goes out to, people who are watching this YouTube video. It's just like, you're never too broken, you're never too damaged, you're never too hurt for the Spirit to come in and love you, and I couldn't even receive love. I couldn't understand love. Love always hurt me or whatever. And therefore, when they got me to a certain place spiritually, then my first thing was to hurt them, because they were going to leave me anyway. They were going to do something to me anyway. So it's like, I get to strike first, Although I know you should never strike Mama and Papa.
You can, but our reverse magic is something else.
Yes, that spanking that you get, and it's just wonderful. And that's the thing, is like, no one's too broken or messed up for your call to yourself.
Nope.
And the other thing is just loving myself, and loving myself through the journey, and loving who I am. And it's hard to face people when they know who you really are, and they see your flaws and your scars and your hurt and your pain
and potential,
and when all that, and when
that's the part that scares
yourself,
the most. Yeah, most people, it's not their pain that they're scared of as much as their potential, of their power, of their own magic. That scares people the most, and the fact that we can see that in people is probably the most intimidating. It's not knowing that your deepest, darkest secrets. People want you to know that part, because we all want to be able to share that part. That part makes our heart heavy. We want to be able to get that part off. But now when I start to push you into your potential, into what you can create, into who you are, that gets uncomfortable. And that it can be intimidating, because I know it intimidated me. When Baba pushes me, you want to see a bear get mad? This bear right here will growl all the way through transition. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like changing, especially when I know that it's because I gotta raise my vibration.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotta let go of something that's not serving me. Um, sometimes we need a powerful force to guide us, just with a little push. It's not even a push. Sometimes it's just a hand on the shoulder saying, "Hey, it's that time." You know what I mean? Like, just step up.
Yeah.
Show up. And if you say that you're something, then show up to it. You know what I mean? If you study something, apply it. What is knowledge if you don't have wisdom? It doesn't serve us. So don't keep reading because you don't think you're enough. Apply what you've read.
Okay. Mama touched me and I'm about to faint. That was wonderful. Because when you were saying that about seeing the potential in who people are, and then just having space and room for people to, like I said, I've been on this journey for 3 years, going on 4 years with them. And it's like all the different changes I've made and gone through to be this person who's doing this YouTube, who didn't even know I could do it. I mean, like a few weeks ago, Mom was like, you just have to do, it's time. And I'm just like, time for what? What are you talking about?
Put it out there right now.
So, and then things lined up so that her message is kind of like when they speak, they just plant the seed in you. And then the universe starts moving and bringing in confirmations of what they said. And then I go running back to them like it's brand new news. And they're sitting there like, yep, that's exactly what I said.
And we will act like it's brand new news. Like, oh, how amazing. You're doing awesome.
But on the times when we're on the steps and when we're on the steps and we're like talking or whatever, then it's like, yep, I knew that was in you. And it's like, what? You knew that was in me? It's like, yes, I
That's
knew.
That's what makes us want to do what we do. If I didn't get to see that part, it'd be hard. You had, like I said, you got to have the opposites.
Yeah.
If I had to only see people's pain, which I've been there, and it was because I hadn't healed all my pain, right? And I'm not saying that I don't have other pain that comes up and I have to go in and deal with it, but at the place I'm at now, I can see you as a whole and not just the part that I was focused on in myself, because we work with each other with reflection. So if I haven't tapped into something inside of me and it's still there and someone comes and brings it up, I'm gonna take it personal. I'm gonna try to be right. I'm gonna try to fix it or put it in a box or something, and it's not gonna work. So the place that I'm at now, I like to see the big picture, all of it. We've got all the wounds in there, but we also have all the light and the potential to create that contrast between the yin and the yang. You got to know your masculine and feminine to dance with the divine. I think that's the most important part for me, is to be able to see the potential.